Way down upon the Swanee River, far, far away. That's where my heart is yearning ever, home where the old folks stay, home where the old folks stay.
Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida.
Whoa. Literally in Florida.
Yeah. Come on. Welcome to episode 100. We're in the heart of the Green Swamp, everybody.
Yeah, with special guests.
We do have our entire team here. We have Jason. We have Kaylee. We have Suzette. And then we have the usual, myself, Cameron, and Josh.
Hello. And for episode 100, we're all going to say 100 in like 5 different languages?
Right.
Yes.
Cameron?
100. I'll start with English.
2032.
That was Italian.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and take the next one. Johanna.
That's beautiful.
And then 2 more we'll cover at the end of the episode.
Yep.
Perfect.
So we are here in the Green Swamp. About 2 months ago, we kind of caught wind of some interesting things happening here. And so we decided to kind of launch an investigation. And what we did was we put flyers all over Central Florida, any city that kind of is on the border of the Green Swamp.
Yep.
We put flyers up basically asking people for information. And what we're looking for is information regarding a cryptid. Basically, it's a kind of unclassified creature that locals believe live in the heart of the Green Swamp.
Right.
And so we kind of took it upon ourselves to investigate it. And what started off as kind of a fun project for episode 100.
It's never been a fun project.
Well, it's turned into we're in over our heads. It's
right. We're literally sitting in the dark trying to figure out what's going on out here.
Yeah, so if we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
This is literally...
Josh is not having a good time so far.
We're trying to survive.
My ankles are inflated up. Looks like I got floaties on them.
Right.
Because the skeeters are out.
All the bug bites.
So just to paint a picture, we're out in the Green Swamp.
Yes.
We got a little fire going for us. Josh is just
miserable.
Just eating up.
I'm ready to quit the show.
I know.
We're just getting started.
So we're going to get into a little bit more detail about what we are investigating and kind of what we're looking for. But to kind of just keep some normal feeling.
Normalcy.
Normalcy on the episode. We're going to have Cameron do some headlines to kind of break up some of the tension.
Please,
Let's
going.
Go.
Yeah, can we do it?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Episode 100, sponsored by Sal's Pizza. If you want New York pizza, stuffed Chicago pizza, Sicilian pizza, Chicago deep dish pizza, whatever you want, they got it. See you at Sal's Pizza, Auburndale, Florida.
All right, headlines. In the dark.
Come on.
Well, we
After
got a little
hours.
bit of light here.
A little bit of light. Just enough for you to keep eyeing those marshmallows over
It's
there.
the only reason I'm still here.
I know.
You guys,
right.
It's like everyone is holding an ingredient away from me.
Right.
So I can't make a whole s'more. I can make toasted graham crackers.
You can have them at the
my
end.
single ingredient.
At the end.
When you've earned them.
All right, so we have a Florida man
Come on.
who had the cops called on him because he was watching a hockey game.
Okay.
Okay.
Or match.
Sounds
game.
No,
I
I
think
think
it's a game.
a bowl.
I don't really watch
I think
hockey,
it's a hockey bowl.
It's a hockey ball.
A hockey bowl. Okay, so during the Stanley Cup Finals, last month, these neighbors were watching the game or bowl, and they kept yelling at their TV, "Shoot it, shoot!"
Oh no!
And so obviously,
First assumption is
right,
it's a human
murder.
being. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So their neighbor, I think they were in an apartment building. Their neighbors heard this, and they called the cops. They said that somebody was saying, "I dare you to shoot." So they thought it was
even
like.
then.
I thought they said that they thought it was a domestic dispute. Like
I dare you to shoot.
Yeah, I dare you to shoot.
Right.
Which is not what I'd be saying if somebody was holding a gun at me.
Well, I think the rule is hear something, say something
Right.
to the police.
If you hear your neighbors, call the cops.
Bingo.
That's what we've been told.
So they did that. The cops came to the door and they said, "So do you guys have any weapons in the house? What's going on?"
Sounds polite.
And they're like, "No weapons here. We're just screaming at the lightning, and we're rooting for our team." And the cops, like, surprisingly took it really well. They were super cool about it.
Yeah.
They I don't even know if that they went in and looked for it, but basically they
Shot
probably
the TV.
saw all the jerseys. Yeah, they shot the TV. And anyways, so everything ended up pretty well. But, I guess if you're the neighbor, you do want to, like, err on the side of caution.
Well,
Sure.
As a guy who has a roommate, well, not a roommate, a renter.
Right.
Okay.
He's in a domicile 75 feet from my house.
Uncle
Right.
Barrel.
Uncle Barrel.
Right.
Yeah.
He yells anytime there's a Bucks game,
Uh-huh.
and I've never called the cops on him. I'm just saying, I'm a better person than this person.
Well, I think throw it or catch it is different than shoot
No,
it.
he does say, "I dare you to shoot it." I
There's
don't know
no
if he's
shooting involved.
The right
Oh,
thing.
jeez. So anyways, that one ended up well, but let's go on to our next one.
Okay.
All right, so our next Florida Man headline
Okay.
Perfect.
is actually about a Florida animal,
Okay.
which I thought
Okay.
worked well for our setting, right?
We have a lot of them.
Out in the woods.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a Florida man that is illegally smuggling flying squirrels.
Okay.
There's
Out
a
of
legal way
Florida.
to what? There's a legal way to do it.
Smuggling. I think
Okay.
anytime you're smuggling something, it's illegal.
I think so. I don't think
Yeah.
you can smuggle legally.
So if you don't know, and a lot of people actually don't know this,
Tell
there
us.
is flying squirrels throughout Florida.
Okay.
Okay,
Not around Cam's neighborhood. Hey,
not
man.
my neighborhood
Pew, pew,
anymore.
pew.
But they're nocturnal animals.
Oh,
Just definition for that, Josh.
thank
They
you.
sleep during the day. They're out at night. So this is one of the reasons why people aren't
Okay.
seeing them.
I'm pretty nocturnal then.
They're very small, but they glide. They don't fly, but they glide, and they can glide or fly up to 160 feet with like each leap,
Whoa.
which
Isn't
is
that just like
that's impressive.
that's falling, but like far.
Gracefully.
Right.
Yeah.
Also called gliding. They
All I'm saying is it's not flying and it's not gliding because they're going to like a high tree.
right.
So
no,
this is based.
they're falling down, gliding.
Yeah, but the record is set by the squirrel that went to the highest tree. That's all I'm saying. This
I don't think they have
160 foot,
competitions.
but this 160 foot horizontal distance is only set because that squirrel went to the higher tree.
Right. Okay.
So you get one in a plane, and now it's like gliding squirrels can go 5 miles.
I
Right?
see what you're saying. So
That's-
the
okay,
160
thank you.
foot thing
Yes.
is just a number that was made up.
Yes.
Right.
Let's
He went
see
up
what
on- yeah.
let's see what flying squirrels could do out of an airplane.
That's what I'm saying. That's
I
all I'm
gotcha.
saying.
All right, so
Jesus.
let's talk about the headline.
Okay.
So like I was saying, a lot of people don't know that these are here.
Yep.
Even like the sounds that they make this chirping sound, but it's not heard very often because
Will you play a clip of it?
you wouldn't hear it. I'll play it right now.
Oh, it's inaudible.
Okay, hold on. There it was. So the frequencies are outside of the range of human hearing. Humans can't hear most of the sounds that they
Right.
make.
Can't hear it.
That's why you didn't hear that. But anyways, so Florida wildlife officials got an anonymous tip at one point to check out. They heard about some trapping, illegal trapping. So they went to this area where they, somebody called this in, and they found these two guys that were basically, they caught them with 31 flying squirrels.
Wayne, you're going to like this.
Right.
You know how they caught them?
With the nets.
Those big old parachutes that they used in elementary school.
Right.
They just hung those between trees. And
As they're
squirrels like,
gliding down.
Right.
boom, caught
So these two guys were caught with 31 flying squirrels, and there was over like 100 squirrel traps in the area that they were found, like in the woods,
okay.
which actually they look like little wooden bird houses. Okay,
Oh,
that's what the
that's
squirrel
cute.
traps
them.
are.
Oh, you don't want to catch them mid-flight. I guess.
Exactly. So, anyways, they pulled this truck over. They found these. They found these 31 squirrels, and these guys basically said, "Well, we're actually trapping them for this guy named Rodney Knox, and so we trap them. We take them to this farm, Knox Farm, and he deals with them. So, the officials let him go that day. They're like, they let the squirrels go, but they also let the 2 guys that were found
How
trapping
do you
them.
test if they're a regular squirrel, flying squirrel? Do you have to throw it up?
I think so.
Okay. Just checking.
Anyways, they let the guys go, and then they started this investigation that lasted like months. Okay. They were looking into this place called Knox Farm with this guy named Rodney Knox. They went to this farm. They found like just like hundreds of different animals. They found like over 100 flying squirrels like in one little cage.
Oh,
and
that's not how to keep 'em.
piece of crap.
he's saying that, you know, he's legally breeding them and then selling them, which he is selling them through pet stores.
Oh,
but,
really?
you know, there's no way, when they went to this place, they found out there's no way that he's legally breeding these. They're not in separate cages. They're all
Right.
together, all this stuff. They also found like 800 alligator eggs.
Oh, fuck.
Which was
That's the job I don't
obviously-
want. I want to be the flying squirrel catcher,
Right.
not the guy going through the alligator.
Searching the alligator nest.
The alligator egg.
Yeah.
Right. And so they found that these were obviously illegal because of the fact that they had like 10 nests, alligator nests on site, and they can only produce like maximum of 10. So anyways,
800,
they went through this and found that, you know, he had all this illegal animals operations. And so what they do with the flying squirrels, like people are buying them as pets, and they're pretty popular. I've actually known somebody that actually a few different people that had these
That
like
doesn't
little
surprise me.
sugar gliders, flying squirrels.
Wait, you personally know people with flying squirrels?
They had them in the past. Yeah, I
Okay,
knew somebody
gotcha.
in college, like this college kid that would take it in class in his pocket. I think that was specifically a sugar glider, but it's like the same.
So
pretty much the
sugar
same
glider
animal.
isn't like the sweet term for,
I think that was like what he called it. Hey, sugar.
because like the Chilean sea bass is actually
Right.
called the toothfish.
Right.
So
we're not
it's not
talking
like it's
about
not
fish, though. We're
Oh,
talking
we're
about
not-
squirrels.
Okay, still on squirrels.
Yeah.
So, anyways, they did this investigation. They ended up charging him. He's in jail. They think that he's probably gonna end up with a sentence of like 60 years. But
Goodness
he's like
gracious.
passing through like hundreds of flying squirrels and different animals, and being sold all around the country and all around the world. A lot of them go to like South Korea, and so, anyways. Probably an animal that like 90% of Floridians don't even know exists in Florida.
Right.
I've been out in the woods a lot, and I've never seen one ever
Yeah.
in the woods.
Not a lot.
And this guy's like
No.
selling them.
He's selling them as pets.
So how do we feel about this?
Oh, I feel terrible.
An animal that we don't even know exists here in Florida.
Uh-oh.
Do you feel?
I know where this is going.
Do you feel bad? That
I feel bad.
Do you? Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
curious. I mean, I feel bad they're in the cage together.
I think you would love having a flying squirrel.
Yeah, I would, but where would I get one? Really,
I know a
truly.
guy.
Do you?
I have a question though. Is it against the law to do that in general or specifically with flying squirrels?
So you can, there is like, you can get a license and breed them.
Right.
But he is capturing them in the woods illegally.
Okay, and
Trapping
then
them
going
and then selling them. So
See,
yes, that is illegal. Like
if
the whole
it's me,
smuggling situation.
I don't want to trap it on the tree because you may get some basic squirrel. Those don't go for a lot of money.
You want a high flyer.
You want a high flyer. Yeah.
All right. So I have one more Florida man story for tonight.
Well, you've gotten 2 stories out. Can
I
I, at
have.
least get a half a chocolate bar,
Not
a half
yet.
a marshmallow? I'm being sucked dry
No,
over
you
here
gotta wait till the end.
from the mosquitoes.
All right. So our last one is about a Florida woman from Ocala.
okay.
Okay.
Nice place.
Yeah, nice place. Not a nice lady. So she was having this
well.
conversation. That her name is Elizabeth Lore.
Okay,
she was
putting her
having
out.
this conversation with the victim, and I guess the argument or the conversation was basically an argument. Got a little heated. So the victim tried to leave. He starts walking to his SUV. He starts getting in it. Well, Elizabeth goes to the back of his SUV and tears the entire windshield wiper off
Oh my
the
god.
back of the car.
Okay.
Calm
And then
down.
proceeds to go hit the victim with the windshield wiper.
Oh my god.
Like the arm and everything, like the metal arm. And
This girl, I'm impressed.
his arm's all bloodied, his elbows like cut up. They had witnesses that saw the whole thing.
Because he's made of liquid, so it really did a
It
number
really
on him.
oozed, that time. So anyway,
gets it.
she's going to jail for aggravated assault, and don't tear windshield wipers off. And
That
then-
takes some strength.
right. I know that takes a lot of strength, like the whole arm of the windshield wiper.
And you're angry
That's
though.
pretty
I mean,
impressive.
It is
Yeah.
impressive.
On most days, Elizabeth Bauer can be found at her home on the corner of McKean Street.
Sweet.
She likes to sew, and occasionally she'll leave for church, but for the most part, she sits in the chair on her front porch thinking about August 14th, 1992.
Oh, right
So-
around Cam's birth.
Yeah. I was a year old.
Always.
That day is important because it's the day that Lawrence, her loving husband of 35 years,
Okay.
went missing in Florida's Green
Oh,
Swamp.
geez. Okay.
Now we're
Didn't know.
getting a little sad.
So Lawrence was an avid fisherman, kind of an all-around outdoorsman, and he loved finding new spots around Central Florida to either go fish or go camping.
Yep.
And for a few weeks, he had been spending practically every afternoon at his new spot here in the Green Swamp. So that Friday in August, it was really no different. Lawrence, he loaded up his fishing poles into his red Dodge Caravan, and he set off for a relaxing evening, kind of out in the wild. But the problem was he never came back.
That's not the kind of fishing trip anybody wants
Well,
to take.
Cam, you're the one that goes fishing all the time.
Yeah,
Right.
I always want to come back.
Oh,
He
okay.
usually does come back.
jeez.
When morning came and Lawrence hadn't returned, naturally, his wife Elizabeth was a bit worried, and so she called his friend Robert, who he frequently fished with. And Robert said that he hadn't gone fishing with Lawrence in like 3 weeks because he had a bad chest cold, so he wasn't there.
Mhm.
And so by lunchtime that same day, Elizabeth, she was like in a full blown panic. She's calling everyone she knows, including the police. Because no one's heard from Lawrence at all.
Mhm.
And so search parties, both civilian and law enforcement, were organized, and people were on the lookout kind of around the clock trying to find this guy.
Right.
Good.
Within 12 hours, they had found a promising lead. A few miles into the swamp, off of one of the main driving trails, a tail light was sticking out of the murky water.
Oh, goodness.
Just the tail light.
Jesus.
Just a tail light, yeah.
That's the float point.
And
of
this is the
most
same
vehicles.
area that we're probably in right now.
We're getting close to it, I think.
I haven't seen a tail light, though.
So the authorities informed Elizabeth that they wouldn't be able to pull the vehicle out until sunrise,
Oof.
when there was more light to do
Yeah.
work, and they couldn't be sure because they couldn't fully identify the vehicle, but they were almost certain that it was for sure Lawrence's red Dodge Caravan.
Mm.
And
And they basically said, sorry, I can't do anything until tomorrow.
right, it needs to be daylight for us to
Jeez.
do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And so for some reason, this bit of information kind of gave his wife Elizabeth some peace. And I think it's because she knew that there was no way her husband would have driven into the water in the swamp.
Yeah.
And from her, she said, look, Lawrence doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He arrived there in the broad daylight.
Okay.
There's just no way that he would have accidentally gone off the trail, crashed his car. So for Elizabeth, she's like, that's not him. We're good to go. That's some other
Cool.
car. But basically, the following morning, though, what little peace of mind she had was quickly gone because the vehicle was pulled out of the swamp by county officials,
Oof.
and it was indeed the red Dodge Caravan registered to Lawrence Bauer.
Not a good look for her.
No.
Not a good look for Lawrence.
I'm not
No.
a fan of the story in general.
I know.
I got nothing to say.
I know. But there were some irregularities. So the front right tire had been severely punctured, along with the front right bumper, and the headlight fixture on the same side had been completely crushed.
Okay.
So even
And it into the water. Usually water doesn't, all I'm saying is water usually doesn't do that damage.
And puncture
Right.
things.
Yeah,
Right.
puncture
Right.
things.
so even stranger were the claw marks
Oh, yeah.
that were on the vehicle. There were 3 of them, 6 inches apart, and completely puncturing the metal frame of the old Caravan.
Having been to a water park, never left with claw marks.
Right.
And that's a lot of water.
So Lawrence's body was never recovered. However, a bloody pant leg believed to belong to him was found approximately 20 yards away on the branch of a small tree.
Oof.
And so Elizabeth, she couldn't really make sense of all this information provided to her. And so the right front end of his van was completely destroyed, yet the officer said there was no sign of impact on land. Like you were saying,
yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense.
Wait, you're saying it happened in the water?
Right. So they're
Okay.
saying he didn't
I
run
gotcha.
into anything.
So there's no tree bent over with a
no,
big
none at
scrape.
all. He goes into the water. They pull the vehicle out, and it's clawed and punctured and destroyed.
Yikers Island.
So basically, there's those claw marks, and all the officials are refusing to address the claw marks. So they're saying, look, the bumper's destroyed, the headlight's been crushed in. No one's mentioning the claw marks. But that piece of information, it was given to Miss Bauer kind of off the record by the sheriff's department. She was kind of confused, asking a lot of questions, and an officer said, look, on top of all the, dents and bruises and busted up headlights, there were like significant claw marks on the vehicle.
But he wouldn't say it, so he's like, think like scratch marks, but bigger. What would you call that?
Like a T-Rex. Got a hold of it.
Yikes.
So no one on the force had ever seen anything like this before, but it appeared that Lawrence's vehicle had not been driven into the swamp, but it had been dragged into the swamp.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This is at the location that we're at here now.
We're pretty close to it.
Cool. All right, good. I'm glad I'm hearing the good story now.
Right.
And not, because all I heard was we're going to see the green swamp monster. I'm like, okay, well, BS.
Right.
But now there's a story that goes with it.
Yeah. So there were trail marks kind of like on the road where it looked like it had been dragged. The description they used was by a tow truck.
Okay.
It looked like it had been, it was dragged by something into the swamp.
I don't think tow trucks usually leave claw marks.
Or they usually help vehicles out of a situation.
Right. And tow trucks don't operate in the swamp.
They're not malicious.
You have a clear view behind me, right?
Not so much.
Okay.
It's pretty dark over there.
Don't like that.
So the case of Lawrence Bauer is one of dozens of missing person cases found within the borders of the Green Swamp, where we're at.
Go ahead.
It's one of dozens of missing person cases right where we're at here in the Green Swamp. For over 50 years, it has been one of the central locations for disappearances in the middle part of Florida.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Yeah,
Thanks, guys. Yeah. I thought we're going to out here investigate lore.
Right.
Like fake stuff.
Sure.
And now we have missing person cases.
A lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of them. So
any small groups of podcasters
right.
had gone missing?
I think so.
Oh, good.
The vast majority of these cases have indeed gone unsolved.
Cool.
They're registered with the authorities. Sheriff's Department knows about it.
Sweet.
But it's just nothing they can do. The one common factor amongst the unexplained evidence and this is a quote from officials, the one common factor are the beast-like clues that are always left behind. Things
there's always beasts.
Always.
Okay.
Cam, are you hot and ready? Are you loaded?
I'm always hot and ready.
Okay.
He's hot and ready.
Just point one at me, but behind me.
Right. So basically, and this is coming from people who have kind of been on the scenes investigating, like crime scene investigation.
Oh, good.
Clean up and whatnot.
I'm glad that crime scene investigators are using the term beast.
Yes.
That's what I want to hear.
On the record, they said they found huge footprints.
Oh, gosh.
Bloody and torn clothing.
Gee, okay.
Fishing coolers that have been shredded like paper. And just like in the case of Lawrence Bauer, always the claw marks.
Okay. Just enough with the
They're
C
just
word.
always there.
Yeah, and to just
can we do no C word for the rest of the whole time?
C word. So just to kind of paint a picture, and I'm going to ask Cameron to help with this because he knows a lot about the swamp.
Right.
The swamp is like, 50,000 acres?
Something like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of area
right.
spread out.
It's dense. And when we talk about on this show a lot, like, this land being like a lawless swamp, usually it's from a historic perspective. This area of our state, the Green Swamp, it's been untouched. There's no kind of, it's not livable. You come out here if you're a podcast and you're insane.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Otherwise,
now do campfires
like
naturally attract beasts?
It says here that if you want to see the beast, light a campfire.
Okay.
And leave marshmallows laying around.
If I've ever heard
lying
malarkey,
around.
Yeah. S'mores, thank you.
Well, and that's the thing is because of all the missing persons cases, and all this super weird evidence, people around these parts have really begun to speculate about what exactly lives here in the Green Swamp.
A B word with C words.
Right.
Yeah. Don't like that.
A beast with claws.
Oh, come on.
We're gonna bleep that out for Josh.
Thank you.
That's what
I'm hearing it live though in my ears.
I know. But that's where we kind of come in, right? Like we felt it's our job as Florida's official podcast to investigate whatever's going on. And so about 2 months ago, when we first caught wind of this, because you guys send in stories all the time, and we appreciate that, we first caught wind about this, and initially it was a single missing persons. And so we were looking into it to see if it was kind of like worthy of a story, if there is any leads that we could kind of help clear up. And that's when we realized we had our team look into it, and there were just like I said, dozens of missing person cases. So when we really started digging into
Somehow those didn't make that whatever to me.
I think we kept you out of it because you were so discouraging about.
It feels like it.
Yeah.
So if the listeners like this exploration podcast that we're doing, soak it in now because it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
again.
exactly. We're all pretty nervous. But when we started realizing it was just more than one case, it was multiple cases over the course of 50 years that were just all unsolved, right? There was never one where we were like, here's a clear explanation. It's all unsolved.
Sweet.
These families are hurting. When we realized there's more than one of our team members, Kaylee, had the idea of putting flyers out all around the area, these cities that kind of border the Green Swamp. It's
Sweet.
50,000
Thanks, Kaylee.
acres. Like it's a huge area. And so people were finding these flyers and saying like, hey, yeah, like, because we basically said like, what's in the Green Swamp? If you know anything, call into the show. We put our number on there. People start calling in.
I thought that was for funny though.
I know. That's the thing is, I think
Don't
we
like
thought it
that.
was kind of funny too, but most of the calls were like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm from here. Yeah, I heard the story my whole life.
Yeah.
People who said they went, fishing out here and felt like they were being stalked. And just to
Oh,
just to
good.
kind of clarify, these are people who like
Stalked is in the
Stalked is a hard word.
Yeah, it's in the verbiage
right
now.
when
Cool.
you think of camping and fishing and outdoorsman like behavior.
Yeah.
You think of Cameron. You don't think of like Wayne and Josh.
No.
Right.
I expect that
When
people,
you think of a real man.
right, you think of Cameron.
Yeah.
Those are the people who were calling in. Real men who aren't afraid of nothing.
Good to know.
I called. Nobody answered.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
But they're the ones calling in saying, yeah, I mean, it's here's what I think it is. It's definitely some kind of monster, is whatever.
The M word now.
Yeah,
Good.
very kind of casually. And so what we did through this investigation is the past couple months, we've been kind of gathering these phone calls. People have been responding on social media. They've been, again, leaving voicemails and stuff. So what we've done is we're trying our best to show you guys 3 interviews that we conducted with listeners such as yourself, citizens of Florida, who are helping explain what they feel is happening in the Green Swamp. And in order to provide a kind of a broad picture, we wanted a perspective of all of our listeners, right? So we're not trying to sell you guys on anything. We're just trying to, present a case. So we've got somebody who is, they've seen it, they're a believer, somebody who's kind of in the middle of the road, and then somebody who doesn't believe. We felt like that really offered a clear picture.
Right.
Yeah, well, what I don't get, I get the interviews. I knew about the interviews.
Right.
I didn't know about the missing persons.
Yeah.
All those missing persons cases. I feel like
Right.
that was kind of kept from me.
I just want to say
Question
this.
mark?
When we were talking about this,
Yeah.
I told Josh that we were talking about a missing persons case in the Green Swamp, and that we were coming to
Thank you,
investigate.
yes.
And he said to me, "This is how I know he didn't know what was going on completely."
Yeah,
He
probably.
said, "So yeah, we're doing like some kind of zombie thing, right?" And I go, "Yeah, that's what we're doing."
Well, I'm comfortable with the Z word,
right.
not the monster or the beast or the claw marks is really my concern.
Or missing.
I'm anti-claws.
Exactly.
That's
He
my
is
big thing.
anti-closet.
I'm anti-missing.
Good. Then I'm also anti-missing.
Yeah, right. We're all
Naturally.
anti-missing. We hope we can end this all kind of, safe and
Not
sound.
missing, yes.
So just to kind of summarize, the calls that we have selected, some of these were video calls, some were kind of old-fashioned phone calls, but these are some of the best ones that we received. So we're going to move into number 1. She's a girl called Kate. She was kind of born and raised in this area. Her grandparents took her out in the swamp quite a bit. She found our flyer outside of a Publix.
Oh, perfect.
Represent.
Sweet.
And she decided to call in. So here's Kate's call right here.
Kate, we've been talking to a few different people for a while now, and what we're trying to do is just get kind of a consensus about some of the stories we're hearing. There's a lot of people who believe there's something going on out in the Green Swamp, and so we're trying to investigate it. So if you don't mind, I just want to ask you a few questions, and if you could just tell us maybe about your personal experiences, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. So from your voicemail, you said that you grew up near the Green Swamp. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I grew up in Dade City, which isn't too far from the swamp on the west side.
Right.
And I was raised by my grandparents, but other than that, it was a pretty normal childhood.
Did your grandparents ever mention anything to you about there being like a creature or a monster in the Green Swamp, like whenever you were younger?
Not really. My granddad used to take me fishing on the weekends a little bit back in the swamp, but sometimes he'd mention something about a creature living in the woods that was like unnatural and mysterious.
Right.
I always just thought he was, goofing me, trying to spook me because he'd grin when he'd said it, but I never really
Yeah.
thought much of it, to be honest.
That's such a granddad thing to say, anyways. Like, you know what I mean?
For
Like,
sure.
so, like, whenever you were out there camping or like on any of those visits, whenever you were in college, a little older, did you have anything that like happened to you that really stood out?
Yeah, I mean, once there was something weird that happened. Probably, yeah, like when I was in college.
Would you mind maybe talking about that a little bit in detail?
Yeah, so it was one of the weekend camping trips that I went on with a few friends from college.
Right.
There were three of us, and both the other girls were from different states up north, so they didn't really know anything
Okay.
about this, green swamp monster or the swamp at all.
Right.
And so we came down on a Friday morning, had lunch with my grandparents up in Dade City. And then after lunch, we drove down in my Jeep to the swamp, to a spot that I went to so many times, like with my granddad.
Right.
Yeah, so we set up the tent, gathered some wood for a fire later on, and, just mostly sat around and chatted about school, boys, plans after college, just normal stuff.
Right. Sure.
And we made a fire. Yeah. So after dinner, we were sitting around the fire, the sun went down, and you could just hear the swamp come alive in the dark. The frogs, crickets, cicadas, the swamp is just so loud and lively at night.
Right.
And so we've been sitting around probably for an hour or so just talking. And then one of the girls just said, "Guys, listen, do you hear that?" And I listened and I heard nothing. And I told her that I didn't hear anything. And she was like, "Exactly." And all the noise just around us had like completely stopped.
Oh
It
my
was
God.
super weird.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it was like no sound at all.
Right.
So I kind of got the feeling that we were being watched. So I stood up with the flashlight and, looked around, but didn't see anything. But we just couldn't shake that feeling. It was just super creepy.
Right.
And then a few minutes later, one of the other girls said that she also felt like we were being watched. And so it creeped us out enough that we just said, "All right, peace out." Hopped in the Jeep and left the tent, chairs, all of it. Granddad drove back out there the next. Yeah, he drove back out there the next day after we told him what happened, and he looked around, told us that he looked around and that he didn't see anything. So I don't know.
I mean, honestly, like that's enough to make me never go in the woods again. Like, if I'm being straightforward.
For real.
But like, do you think personally that it could have been something bigger? Like maybe there was something there that caused that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
For sure. Like since that time, have you ever gone back? Like, have you taken any more trips down there?
Yeah, just a handful of times, but it wasn't the same after that night, and I never went back unprotected.
Oh, no joke, for sure. No, I mean, honestly, like, I have goosies just like hearing you tell it. Like the idea of everything going silent, because I've been outside, like in the woods in Florida, and it's like it's crazy loud with the bugs and the birds and everything. Time. So for everything to go like quiet like that is just, I don't know, it's super spooky. But listen, Kate, thank you so much for sharing your story and for responding to the flyer, and you've given us a call in general. It's been great talking to you.
Yeah, of course. It was so good talking to you guys. Tell Greg I said hey.
Hey, I'll let him know. Take care, Kate.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
No. She used the same green swamp monster. I didn't know this was like nomenclature.
A known thing.
Yeah.
Like a named.
I thought it was some malarkey.
Well, I mean, I don't know. The whole, like, the silence in the middle of the woods.
Right.
That freaks me out a little bit.
What freaks me out is that she was with a small group.
Right.
They lit a campfire. And I kind of feel like we're mirroring that.
Sure, but it's all boys.
Right.
I don't think that.
Well, no, it's not. We have girls here, so I mean.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a sexist monster.
No, I know. I was just being facetious, but I was thinking, like, too, like, I think the biggest thing is the fact that, being out here in the swamp, you hear everything, and you can kind of feel.
There's never silence in the
No,
woods.
but the idea that it went dead silent, and then like they were saying they felt like they were being watched.
Yeah, but what kind of like monster beast would like
Don't even
just make it silent though? Like that's what freaks me out.
I
Like,
wonder so much, like it was just if they whatever it is,
like if it had gotten too close, like
Right.
close, and like scared everything else.
everything else was like. I mean, look, it's the animal kingdom, it's the food chain, right?
Yeah, but complete silence, bro.
I mean, it's in. I don't know. They're respect, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm not a big fan of what's happening here.
I know. I'm just saying that, like, Kate sounds. I don't know. I think if Kate was like pulling one on us, she would say, "Oh, for sure, there's a monster there."
Yeah,
I don't doubt her. I doubt our presence here. Why is it
Well,
needed?
no, this is probably a bad idea, but I'm just, I'm just saying.
I'm enjoying it.
When
Night in
two
the
or
woods
more-
for me.
When 2 or more are in agreement,
Yeah,
then it's time to go.
the monster's here. When 2 or more are gathered, the monster's here. That's the quote from the swamp, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
here
yeah,
we
yeah.
go.
So
inscribed.
we have a second call that we kind of want to open up with,
Mhm.
and this was also done a video call, and this lady's called Donna, and she wasn't happy, and so when we got her voicemail, it was definitely a different tone.
Can I listen to this call in the car?
You can.
Okay.
No, you gotta listen
You're
right
gonna
now.
listen right here.
Not everybody's happy that we're doing this.
Thank you.
Josh
Yeah.
is one of them.
Yeah.
Donna is another. So let's go ahead and play her call now.
Have you ever heard anyone, mentioning there being a monster in the Green Swamp at all?
Yeah, we believe it's just about as real as the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy. We have more to worry about than made-up spooky men that live in the woods.
Right. So you've never spent any time in the swamp, is what you're saying.
Oh, of course I've been in there a handful of times with my dad, but he always said the swamp is where those devil worshippers gather after dark. I never had any use for a place like that.
No, but surely you must think that there's some kind of truth to it, right? I mean, like these rumors about the Green Swamp Monster. I mean, they're everywhere. I mean, we're not the only ones to have heard of it.
Listen, I called the show to make a point. We don't want people like you coming around asking questions about this foolishness. We are good, God-fearing people, and we're not interested in your liberal agenda. Goodbye.
No. Hey, okay.
She hung up on you.
Holy, you stayed on that call?
I gotta say that was one of the most fun ones.
That was fun?
She was like fired
She
up.
like ripped you a new one.
I was taking my headphones off because I felt like I was being scolded.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing for me. This is where my conspiracy mind kind of comes into play.
Nice.
When people are like so adamant that it's not real and they don't want you talking about it,
Okay.
to me it just feeds it for. I love the idea that there are like some locals who
Yeah,
have
well,
just been
yeah.
really upset.
Why is she so protective though? I mean, it's just I
Well,
don't understand. Like,
and in our liberal agenda, this month's edition,
Right?
it wasn't about protecting the swamp.
No, I didn't see that in there at all.
I mean,
but
it's just about finding out what's happening in the swamp and
Yes,
getting
it
Josh
was.
out here to do it.
I'm about to go.
well, I want to say Donna was an outlier. Not everybody was upset. Actually, everybody that called in, for the most part, was really excited to be a part of it and offer what they feel that they have experienced themselves,
Right.
what they've seen.
Are
And
we anywhere near her property? That's all I'm saying.
I don't know.
I hope not.
No, yeah. I hope not, because we'll be running into. I'd rather run into the swamp monster than Donna tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on if she has claws.
I bet she does. She sounds like it. But
Donna's
listen,
got claws.
I know. Well, this next call we have is actually an old-fashioned phone call.
Oh, here we go.
This guy is called Amos, and he was by far the most fascinating story that we received. And I'm gonna let this call speak for itself because we were just really excited about this one.
If this one goes anywhere other than this thing's not real, I'm telling you guys, I'm not here.
I have bad
I'm
news for you.
gone. Oh, okay. Just go.
Just to clarify, with this one, Amos insisted on staying anonymous. He doesn't want anybody to recognize his voice because he does work in this field. He's still kind of involved in this area, but he did want to share.
What field is this?
I know, but he
don't
wanted
like
to share his story. It's dangerous for him, so we will be disguising his voice to kind of protect his identity. So here we go. Amos, can you tell us a little bit about, like, maybe yourself and your relationship with the Green Swamp?
Well, sure. 5 generations of my family have lived on 60 acres directly adjacent to the swamp. You know, we never had a pot to piss in, but that swamp gave us life. It put food on the table.
Right.
Our home was built with cypress timbers. My great-great-granddaddy pulled out of there with a team of mules. And we never had much, but we really never needed for anything the Green Swamp could provide.
That's incredible. So do you still live on that same property now?
Yes, sir, I do. I moved away briefly in my early 20s, chasing some wild gal up there to Ocala, but other than that, life on the Green Swamp is all I've really ever known. I was born here, live here, work here, and I'll most likely die here.
Come on, it seems like, I guess you could say it's safe to say that you have like an intimate knowledge of the Green Swamp, right?
I reckon so. I work for an organization I won't mention by name that entrusts me and a few other old-timers to look after the swamp. You're talking about 100,000 acres of wild land and natural resources out there, and there's a lot of ground to cover, but I know it like the back of my hand. We get, weekend tourists that explore the handful of trails and roads in the swamp, but the rest of that area is largely untouched, and we aim to keep it that way.
Sure.
It's a large tract of land, but, you'd have a better chance of sneaking daylight past the rooster than you would doing something in that swamp without me getting wind of it. My ears are everywhere.
Come on. Well, listen, I mean, our show's, particular interest in the knowledge of the swamp, basically, it surrounds something that's kind of puzzling. We've been hearing a lot of rumors about there being a monster in the Green Swamp. Have you heard anything about that at all?
Yes, I have.
What could you tell us about that specifically?
So, are you sure this is the kind of stuff you want to put out there on your show? A lot of people come poking around about some sort of creature before and ended up gator bait or worse.
Jesus, that does sound terrible, but it's also kind of what we're interested in. It's part of the allure, don't you think? I mean, we've read several accounts of like genuine kind of creature activity out there, and we've heard all these rumors now. The more we investigate it, the more rumors we hear, and so we're just trying to find any evidence at all of its existence. You know what I mean?
Well, look, there's plenty of evidence if you know what you're looking for.
So wait, so you're saying that there is a monster in the Green Swamp?
Swamp monster, boogeyman, death himself, whatever you want to call it, it's something out there unlike any animal I've ever come across.
Okay, well, have you seen it yourself?
Look, if you want to talk evidence, I've seen where it's been, I've seen what it's eaten, what it's smelled, or what it smells like. I've heard it. I've done everything but look it right in the face.
Okay, so just to clarify, you've never actually seen it yourself?
Listen, son, I saw something one time. All right, I was 10 years old, hunting with my daddy just west of where Gator Creek feeds the Withlacoochee.
Okay.
It was going on about dusk, and 100 yards away, we heard a ruckus. Across the clearing, I saw a creature running upright very fast. You know how they show them the video footage of that swamp ape down south, and them Yankees call it a Sasquatch,
right.
But we call it a swamp ape.
Right, no, I feel you.
It's always moving slow, and it looks like a bad costume. You know the one?
Sure, I know what you mean.
So what I saw didn't move anything like that. It was fast, real fast on two legs, and it moved like a predator. It was chasing three does and gaining ground on them. Me and Daddy watched it, and it disappeared into the tree line behind the deer, you know?
Right, sure.
Not long after, we heard one of those does squalling and carrying on with a lot of crashing in the woods.
Jesus, what did you guys do?
I looked up at Daddy because, to be honest, I was scared. He told me something I'll never forget. He said, boy, whatever that is, it's been here long before I was a boy myself. We respect this swamp, and we don't take things we don't need, and we make sure others don't either. I can't be for certain, but I believe whatever that thing is, it understands that and leaves us be. You know, as a boy, I'm just looking at him like, this is crazy.
Right.
But
sure.
he said, remember this, boy, there's a lot of things in this swamp that can kill us, but whatever you just saw was at the top of that food chain.
Amos, that's amazing. That's basically a first-hand account of what we're looking for. This is the creature we've been investigating. Have you ever told anyone else this?
Well, you know, I told a few of the boys that grew up with me and some of the fellas I work with, but hell, they have stories of their own.
So they've seen it too. Would you be able to maybe put us in touch?
Son, listen. I want to be very clear. I ain't putting you in touch with anyone else. I may have said too much myself already. I'd be a damn fool to involve anybody else. I wanted to get in touch with you boys because I wanted people to know the Green Swamp isn't a place to walk around without your head on a swivel.
Sure.
If you want to hoop and holler, there's an abomination about 50 miles away that'll charge you a week's pay to stand in line for an hour and ride a boat in a circle to look at the puppets. Out here in the Green Swamp, there's just a hunter and a hunted, and you better damn sure know which one you are.
No, you guys, nope. I don't know.
So
this guy called it death itself.
Right.
This guy is what we're calling like he's in
I
the
don't
area
even-
or in the field of what's going on out here somehow. We're not getting super specific.
What
but,
he said was that he still works in the field. So
right.
You got
so
about
he should know what
protecting
he's
his
talking
job.
about.
Right.
you got about 5 more minutes of my time.
Okay, so if you're listening, what the plan is for us, what we're planning on doing here with the team is hiking further into the swamp.
The team, this
Including
team,
Josh.
That would be all 6 of us. Yes.
Here's the thing: all these stories, they keep mentioning the same area. The locals call this area Jackson's Bend.
There's not one chance that I am going to be joining you with this hike.
Listen, we need everyone out there.
I
Josh.
feel like we'll cover more ground if we split up. We go towards Jackson's Bend. We go towards where the sightings are, where the stories are coming
Right.
from.
I mean, I'm good with that.
No,
I'll be okay.
I'm
I'm used to
on
being
the
out here.
opposite.
We're
I'm a
not going to
third.
see anything.
I'm a third of the podcast. Well, fourth with Greg, but I should have a vote.
You get a vote.
Yeah, that vote's no.
I know. And then Cameron and I said, yeah,
You'll be fine.
you're going to be fine.
Listen, grab a flashlight.
Well, I
wave
got my
wave
lights.
it in the air if you get lost.
I'm not
find you.
walking.
Just
by,
to clarify, Josh showed up with the equivalent of like a hazard light on his backpack.
I'm not going
LEDs,
missing.
A headlamp, like he's gone coal mining. I mean, he's got like everything he needs. So you won't go missing. I think we're going to be fine. I think the listeners trust us to go and find some kind of footage, some kind of audio.
At this
Some
point,
kind
we
of
have
video.
to. Yeah,
I don't know if we have to.
we definitely have to.
This
We're
is-
in this too deep not to do this.
We are not being paid for this. This is not like life on the line type of deal.
Okay, so the goal from this point forward is...
We're talking about a beast that chased down deer and moved like a freight train.
Yeah.
Death itself, is it?
Death itself.
That's all.
And you
I
wanna,
love it.
You want to go out and find this thing? Like we're going to sneak up on it?
Yeah.
I mean, I look like an arcade game walking through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
We're not going to sneak up on it. There's no use in us just going out. We're here. We're out.
Why
Listen,
don't we just split up and see what we find?
I think so. But if you do at any point, just like hear everything
Don't-
stop and
Don't
complete
say
silence.
like this is a future thing, like it's going to happen.
It's
There's
happening.
no do.
But if you at any point hear just complete silence, you're
Oh,
probably in the right area.
I don't think you hear complete silence. I don't think that's how ears work.
When the demon comes up, it will be.
Yeah, Death
Don't like
itself.
this.
Let's go do it.
Let's do it.
Mm-mm.
So at this point, we've been back from the swamp for about a week now.
Right. We're in the
and
studio now.
Mhm.
We survived. And if you only hear Cameron and I right now because Josh is still upset. He's ticked.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
gruntled.
He's extremely gruntled.
I was disgruntled, but luckily that's come down some.
Now you're just
So
gruntled.
it's just a gruntle.
Yeah, and now I'm 70% gruntled.
Now, when we left, you guys
Let me cut you
left-
off there.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm one of the guys who doesn't like spooky stuff.
We know.
Yeah.
And I don't like it, not because I don't believe it,
Right.
but I think if I open myself up to it, it'll get me.
Sure.
Okay.
And this is what you took a lamb to the slaughter, an innocent lamb.
Right.
I was pure white,
Right.
and now I'm a gruntled lamb.
Right. Now you're a billy goat.
Now I'm a billy goat.
So let's
And
just
I'm
like
not happy about it.
walk through what happened though. Like after we stopped recording at
Right.
camp, okay, we recorded the story
Yeah.
at camp. And
Well,
then
you guys
we
think
went out.
thought let's split up. That's all I heard.
Well, the goal was to find something.
If you're
Anything.
traveling in a large group, a monster, a demon, whatever is going to be, it's a large
Don't
group
even.
of people.
Demons
Right.
can attach to you. Don't call it a demon.
All right.
monster creature,
The monster
Monster,
creature.
yeah.
beast.
Beast is fine.
So we split up. We're all gone individually out in the woods for about an hour by ourselves in the dark. And
I had fun.
Cameron did have fun, but I just want to say,
You didn't hear and feel what I hear and felt.
okay, that is true. Okay, that is true. I will say we all at a certain point when we got back in the van, we all kind of said that we did sense something, that we weren't alone, and it was scary. But Josh, unfortunately, the one who was the most frightened was the one that had the worst experience. He had the most realistic experience.
Well, if I it's tough to to say about because
Right.
now
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to give it like validity and it's going to be a dumb permanent memory in my brain.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not excited about that
right,
because, I don't store a lot of good memories
right,
or bad memories.
Okay.
And that's on purpose.
Right.
Mhm.
But there was you know how animals can sense like a earthquake is coming.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt like I sensed it before I heard it,
Okay.
and that's what bothers me. Because I've never sensed a sound before I heard a sound.
But you just felt like something was close.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thankfully for us, we got your recording. We were all recording ourselves, and we have Josh's audio for you here. So, Josh, if you don't mind, we're gonna play the audio for our listeners, and then maybe we'll come back and you tell us what you were feeling and hearing.
I'll probably step out because I don't want to relive the audio.
And you can also go to our YouTube page and watch this as a video.
Right. We have a companion
Not happy
video.
about that either.
Yeah, if you
You
go to
look
our,
great, though.
our YouTube page, youtube.com/Florida Men, there we have a companion video, kind of footage of us hiking out and then exploring.
But
trying
don't
to find
feel
this
the need
monster.
to.
You should feel compelled to.
Yeah, you want to.
Let's check out this audio of Josh.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
These mother effers. This is some bull. They say put the light on you and then walk forward, but you can't see. Lord, just give me traveling mercies. Don't have me bump into a tree. Just hold on. Oh, that's a branch. Oh God. Okay. Just make Papa John's remove that delivery fee. $3.99. Oh Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm in a tree. Okay. Just ask that you just make the stupid show go away, because I don't know where I am, where they are, why I have to have a light in my face to do this. $3.99 though for a delivery fee. Like, what even is that? I got to tip the driver already. All right, I'm going back. Okay. Hold on. Something's moving. Get low. Okay, yes. Okay, these mother effers. I don't even hear them anymore. Jesus Christ! If y'all, this is y'all. We're no longer friends. Jesus! This is the worst.
Wow.
All right. Wow. Now, obviously, you were
Not happy to hear that.
I know, but okay. So did you hear something? Did you feel what caused you to sprint?
Well, heard, felt, and then the scream.
Right.
Okay.
So,
And just to clarify, the scream was one of our team members.
yeah.
Okay.
She felt something as well,
Yeah,
but she was a good 50 yards from you.
at least.
Yeah, I know. But it wasn't good. I mean, that was probably a 3-second sprint. I was probably 300 yards away at that point. But there wasn't like a crashing, collapsing after me. And
Okay. So you didn't feel something.
no, my senses has never been more tuned.
Right.
Right.
It was like I went blind, my taste buds died, my nose died, and everything went to my ears
Right.
and my feet, the soles of my feet, because I was
Right.
flying.
So you didn't feel like you were being pursued, but something
No.
caused you to take off.
Yeah. But the problem was the felt before hearing.
Well, okay.
It's not a
Physically something rubbed against you?
no. It was like inside. It was a guttural grr, like happened like a vibration inside,
I don't know.
Oh.
and then there was like the sound.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And then the scream,
the scream
which
was like
you ran away from. Now, I'll just say on my part, I heard the scream, one of our team members in distress.
Right.
I ran towards it.
No, I didn't hear the scream because I had worship music in my headphones.
well, that was my mistake.
that you ran away. And
I had Ramstein.
the plan was for us to stay out all night.
Right.
That ended pretty quick because Josh was totally done.
I was looping back to the scream.
Right. Okay. Kaylee, after she kind of felt what she felt and screamed, she was pretty much done. So
Right.
ended up calling an early night.
And then y'all listen. That's the thing.
Whenever she was upset, we listened to her. Now she did describe her sensation very similar to Josh's, and I want to say it was.
Did she come running my way?
Well, it was a far hike back to our van, and Josh walked in front of us the entire time, angry. He was very disgruntled, refused to talk to us
For a few days, honestly. But
we text him, no reply.
I think that I think we found or experienced what we hope to experience. Not that Josh hoped to experience it, but I don't think that we can.
This is not going to be a thing of the future,
right? But I don't think we can wrap up the episode and say, "Hey, this is what happened," or this is what is out there. Because that was our goal. But
what's uncomfortable?
Something's there.
Right. No, that's a great way to put it too. I think because a lot of people are asking us, what's in the green swamp, and the short answer is we don't know. But the longer answer is something's out there.
Yeah.
My problem is these things communicate.
Right.
So if we go to the Don Cesar, they're going to know I'm the weak one.
Well, obviously.
And it's not because of my stature or my muscles.
Right.
I'm mentally weak.
Now we want to say this as a special treat for you listeners. This is episode 100, obviously. We wanted to go all out for you guys.
But I didn't think it was going to be this realistic.
Right. Well, I don't think any of us did.
I thought we'd do like a ha-ha fun explore.
Right.
Go explore for an hour.
Well, it was similar to what we did last year at the Polk Theater, though.
That was intense.
I mean, it was just
with Wayne
at that
looking
point,
over
you're
my
still in
freaking
civilization,
shoulder.
and you can get out of the building very quickly.
Yeah.
Where we were, it took us a few hours to get
I'm not
out.
happy about that.
Well, I think in year 3, I was just going to say our listeners can expect some more exciting stuff like this.
Oh,
inside.
For sure. Yeah.
We'll see. But either way, I feel like you should prepare your spirit.
Yeah.
If my spirit isn't prepared after 37 years,
right,
then I don't know.
God, you're old. Honestly, I think that we just don't tell them any of the plans next time.
You're not going to put me in a van with camera strapped to my body and me not know. Okay.
We're going to a buffet.
We're telling you that you're earning some extra cash on the side.
Right.
Okay. Well, I may be for that, but I did that when I was younger.
I know. I just want to say, I think we all want to say thank you guys for listening.
Wow.
100 episodes.
Big hundo.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
I didn't think I would leave ticked off.
Right.
I would leave the 100th episode ticked off.
Well,
right.
But this is wrapping up the 100th episode. So I think you should leave tonight knowing that we have amazing listeners.
101 and we're not going scary.
Well,
101 to 199, we don't go scary. Right, guys?
Well, 101, yeah. It's going to be bright and happy, I think.
There we go. We're Disney. We're now a Disney podcast.
Yeah. I don't want to say we're never going scary again. But I will say this: it won't happen in episode 101. Can we say that?
I think so.
Yeah, we bet. Yes.
We love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Yeah. God bless.
Love you guys.